Hello, it's Eric here, and so today we are continuing with the series of philosophical discussions. And you may be aware that there's a bit of a background noise going on, and the background noise is actually a exhaust fan, and that gives the video, the background ambience, a bit of an industrial feel, yeah. And so like I said before, even though I record all my videos on a smartphone, and that it may seem that the quality is not that good, but I quickly found out that the background ambience does improve the quality of these these videos. So I'm trying to experiment with a different background ambience noise and see if I can improve the quality of these videos. And so today we are going to discuss empiricism, yeah. And so last time we were talking about rationalism. So that means all our knowledge can be gained just by using our logical deduction, yeah, without relying on our senses. And today we're going to look at the complete opposite, yeah. We do a 180, and then so we'll look at empiricism, yeah. By the way, all these three topics, rationalism, empiricism, and skepticism, come under the big umbrella of epistemology, yeah. And epistemology is a huge topic in philosophy, yeah, and it's all about the acquisition of knowledge, yeah. And then I'm sure later on we'll do a bunch of videos on the acquisition of knowledge, yeah. So basically, acquisition of knowledge is defined as well, how do you know you have learned some knowledge? Well, it's based on the JTB, yeah, the JTB theorem. That means a knowledge is basically a justified true belief, and but that is the original definition of the knowledge. And then of course that leads to the Gettier problem, and then the generalization of the Gettier problem, and the complete rabbit hole, yeah. And but I'm sure later on we'll devote a bunch of videos on the JTP problem, and then the Gettier criticism of the JTP knowledge problem, yeah. But today we're just going to focus on empiricism, yeah. And so empiricism basically is the idea that we cannot gain any knowledge just by using our logical deduction, yeah. Basically, all our knowledge is based on empirical evidence, yeah. It's based on scientific experiment. It's based on observations, based on our senses, And so let me give you an example. Let's say, for example, the force of gravity, yeah. And so the force of gravity was established many years ago in Italy, in Pisa, yeah, the Pisa Tower, and the Leaning Tower, the Pisa Leaning Tower, yeah. And somebody threw two stones, yeah, a large stone and then a small stone, from the top of the Pisa Tower and to the ground, and they found out that the large stone and the small stone both reached the ground after an exact same amount of time, And so they quickly deduced that they quickly found out that so the force of gravity per unit weight or per unit mass is a constant, yeah, and constant which is equal to g, the g force, yeah. And so that's the knowledge that can be gained by doing experiments like this, And then so skepticism basically is a one step further, yeah. Once you go one step further than empiricism, basically is that you question the basis by which you do your experiment in order to gain that knowledge, yeah. And so later on we will have a separate video on skepticism, yeah. But skepticism is one of the trifecta, one of the trifecta of epistemology, yeah. But we'll do it in a later video. So today we're going to just tackle empiricism. So like I said, the empiricism basically is the knowledge that you gain by empirical evidence, yeah. And then so the philosophers, they go on to say that all our traditions are basically based on empirical knowledge, yeah. And then all our traditional knowledge is based on empirical evidence, and then so the traditional knowledge can be divided into three kind of not three partitions, but basically three aspects, yeah. There are three aspects to our traditional knowledge. You have the tabula rasa, the falsification, and then the scientific experiments, yeah. So let's start with the tabula rasa. Tabula rasa basically means a clean slate, yeah. That means when you're born, you have absolutely zero knowledge. It's like you are a clean slate. and then so you build up your knowledge base by doing experiments. Like for example, if you're a baby and then you quickly find out that if you want to attract the mother's attention, you cry, yeah, and then so that's you gain knowledge by doing experiment like this. But then the experiment can also be falsified. Like for example, yes, the baby knows that if it cries, it can attract the mother's attention, but then it quickly finds out that even if it cries, but if it observes that the mother is busy or very angry, then the baby cannot attract the mother's attention. Yeah, so the baby quickly falsifies this knowledge by doing further observations. And so basically, traditional knowledge is based on empirical evidence, and then the traditional knowledge has three aspects, yeah, tabula rasa, and then scientific experiment. But the scientific experiment is subject to falsification and things like that. And then so that's the main idea of empiricism. By the way, we're discussing all these philosophical ideas. The point is not to give you a complete background knowledge of all these philosophical ideas. The idea is just to pique your interest, and then if you want to do further research, then it's up to you. Yeah. But if I can just pique your interest, then that means my objective has already been achieved. Yeah. All right, so that's the topic of empiricism. So in the next video, we're going to tackle skepticism. All right, I'll see you in the next video then. Bye.